Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is the ET526. It is a video transmitter for mini quads or anything that you want to fly, really. I'm going to be using on my X210 build that I should be building up pretty soon on camera. But I thought I would just go over some of the features of this video transmitter. It has a couple of very, very unique features. So let's go ahead and get into this. Just to start off with all the basics, it's 5.8 gigahertz. So the DC voltage going in is going to be between 7 and 28 volts. So basically you need 2S or above for this. One of the things that makes this a pretty interesting unit is that it is 25 milliwatt, 200 milliwatt, or 600 milliwatt. It is selectable. Another great feature is that you can turn the unit off even though it's plugged in. That would be really handy if you're in a race situation where you don't want to blow somebody out of the sky in between races. You can turn it on and then turn off the transmitting side of this so that you can make some adjustments to your copter and not blow somebody out of the sky. So let's go ahead and take this apart here. Now I did get this from Banggood. They're fairly inexpensive, I think $25-ish right around there. I could be a little bit off there. This is what it looks like here. Really, really nice. So it has a microphone, and there's a little LED here where you can turn the microphone on or off. Let's go ahead and take this out of the package here. Rubber ducky antenna. These feel like the plasticky kind of wires that I don't like, you know, but we kind of have to put up with it. Anyway, we'll plug this in just a moment. So just a couple of things here. So it has two buttons on it, and it has the row of LEDs here that really are nice to show what channel you were on and what band. It also has this little 1, 2, and 3 here that tells you whether you're on 25, 200, or 600 milliwatt. I'll just go over this really quickly. You double click on this upper button here, that one right there, and that will turn it on or off. And if you hold it for 3 seconds, it'll change the milliwatt rating on this, and I'll show you that in just a second. The lower button, which is this one right here, just like a lot of the other VTXs, you're going to have a single press for changing the frequency and a 2-second press for changing the band, and that'll all show up here. I'll show you that in a second. And a 5-second press to turn the audio on and off, and that's where this little LED on the front comes into play. This is the diagram for the pinout on the cable, and I'll show you that in just a second as well. Okay guys, so one of the things I noticed is that this cable fitting into here is exceptionally tight, so as you're plugging this in, make sure that you kind of support the bracket here so you don't shove this thing off the board, but this was really, really tight. Not my favorite. Let's decipher these cables here for us. Okay, so according to this paper here, basically you get power from the right side, which is this side here. You get power from this lead right here, which is positive, negative, and this white cable is a PWM signal, so I think it's used to control either the channels or the bands or turning it on or off. There's no documentation that tells you how to use this, so I'm not going to use that. I don't really have any use for remotely turning off my VTX or changing the channel while I'm flying. So this cable here is basically 5-volt power going to your camera, a ground, and also a video cable. So one of the nice things about the cable that's supplied here is it plugs directly into my Runcam Swift here or any of the Runcam style cameras. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug this in. And I have a little adapter here, so I'm going to take power from this lead right here. I made this little adapter so I can just plug in a 3S or 4S battery here, so I just want to make sure my positive negatives are correct, and they are. And I have a little screen here. Okay guys, I'm going to plug in this Infinity 1500 graphene battery. These just came into my office. I'm going to be doing a full review on these, just an overview at first, and of course a flight video coming up. So let's go ahead and plug in this video transmitter. I'll go over some of the functions. Alright, there we have it. Let's see if you guys can actually see this here, and we'll focus on that for just a second. So there's my image. This is my Runcam Swift. There's my office. And my dirty bench. Alright, let's not focus on that, shall we? So let's go over the buttons here and what they do. So there's an upper button and a lower button here. If I double press this button here, you can kind of see the screen behind me here, but if I double press this, turns the VTX off. So like I said, this is very handy in race situations. Say in between a race you want to do some adjustments and you don't want to blow out the guys that are going in for their next race. You can turn this on real quickly and then turn it off. You can plug in your copter, I should say, and you can turn this off. Okay, so let's turn this back on. We're going to do another double click. And we are now on. Okay, so I'm going to change the power, which is these 3 LEDs right up here. So I'm just going to hold this for 2 or 3 seconds. You'll see that there is a secondary. There's a second LED lit up. That means I'm on 200 milliwatt. Press and hold this for another 3 seconds. And now there's 3 on. That means 600 milliwatts, and I'm going to go back to 25. Okay, so I'm back to 25. And if I double press this again and turn it off, you can see that this first LED is in a very low state here. It's dimmed out. Okay, let's go to the channels and the bands. I'm going to do a long press on this lower button here. And that's going to change my band. So I'm going to change this all the way back. We'll turn the video transmitter back on. And if we do a short press on this button, this will change our band. So 1 through 8, of course. We'll go back to Fat Shark 1 here, and we'll see our video once again. There we go. Alright, so, okay, now a 5-second press on this button here will turn on our audio. Audio is on right now. It has a green light here. So I'm going to do a 5-second press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that light, that green LED is off. That's indicating that your microphone is now turned off. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now it's back on. Okay, guys. Another reason I like some of these plates that have these open bays here is that you can mount these video transmitters in here, and you can see kind of what your video transmitter is doing here, and it still leaves these buttons open for pressing. Now, unfortunately, this one here doesn't have a big enough window to encompass both of the buttons and the LEDs, but you can see how this will actually be kind of useful for setting up your VTXs. I probably am going to center this in a place where I can get to both buttons and see the LEDs at the same time. So anyway, that is a quick look at the Eachine ET526. I think it's a nice little unit. Somebody was asking me also about whether when this is turned on, if you turn it back on, if you unplug it and turn it back on, will it stay off or will it stay on? And what I've noticed is that it stays on in the on position. So if I unplug it and plug it in, it is still on. Somebody said that it might go to, it might turn off, but let me go ahead and turn this off. And I think that if I unplug it and plug it back in, I think it turns back on again. So let me just check here. This could have something to do with the PWM signal and what it was left at the factory as well. So if I plug this in, yes, the video is back on now. So if you're going to be using the on-off feature, you need to make sure you remember to turn it off as soon as you plug it in, and make sure no one else is flying at the same time. Okay. All right, guys, thanks. Tell me what do you guys think about this unit. Obviously, I'm not going to be using this rubber ducky antenna, but I think it's a really interesting unit. I'll be using it in my real ACC X210. So look forward to that coming up on the channel, and I'll talk to you guys later.